It's been a while since I've recorded some videos. So much has happened. Uh, I just absolutely praise God for allowing me to serve and do all these missions, even though there is a heavy cost and it's a lot of stuff I don't really like to do. I'm very honored, and I would rather do it than not. Because I prayed if somebody else wants to do it, if someone else would do it, but I guess that's me. So I don't know. Maybe you guys are saving your cities and towns. So I don't even remember where. I don't even remember where I was last time. I'm trying to skip to. Okay, I went to the Bible study group. This is the Faith Healer. I just learned so much more too. This is amazing what I've just learned. Like, God taught me the way that the system works. And once you know how it works, then you won't be offended anymore. Everything is fair. Um, so during this meeting, the cupcake icing was poisoned with nicotine juice. A woman there admitted it. No one else ate them. They didn't even want them. No one even wanted to take them home. They wanted all the other food. So they were sending these poisoned cupcakes to the retirement home, to the old folks' home. This is horrible. But maybe they will like them. I don't know. I ate one and I was still alive, but I took some cheese crackers, some other stuff home. So of course when I got home, I believe I was cursed for being given this. Somebody handed me an extra container. They were so happy to give me a plastic container to put the food in. So then when I got home, I was trying to put it in the fridge, and I don't remember, this is a while ago, but it like flipped upside down and fell on the floor, which was really disgusting, so I just gave it to the dogs. So I got cursed, but my dogs were happy. Oh, I got a stack of napkins, which I was really happy because I use those here. I'm too broke to buy certain things, and those fell on the floor too. And this is the part of the floor that was disgusting. Some parts of my floor are really filthy. Having mice in the house where the ceiling rains and there's mold and all other types of things. You can't even necessarily clean this because it would just be dirty again 5 minutes later. So and I got another curse. My dog chewed something up which could have hurt her, and I was concerned, but then I found the part that I was worried. If she chewed this up and swallowed it, she could have possibly had serious health problems, but she didn't, luckily. So now these people, these fake Christians, or I guess they are Christians, I don't know. Well, they're not Christians, because Christian would mean to be Christ-like, which they are not. They are witches and warlocks. They practice what they say is white witchcraft, and actually this is something I just put together today, because someone mentioned that Wiccans are Satanists. And now I have just realized that's what most of the Christian churches are. Wiccans. They are practicers of magic. They are practitioners. They are magicians. Most of them are using magic, are making deals with the devils. And they are doing it, but they think it's good because they're using this knowledge to help people and to heal people. but this is not good, and this is not acceptable. Um, so there was one church, I don't think I saw magic, but I saw curses. And I'm not even sure I saw the curses from the leaders. Actually, Salvation Army, they weren't really using witchcraft, but there was some weird stuff with children there. But I did not see them. Like, there was people that went to the church that were doing curses, I think. But out of all the churches I'd went to, they were not practicing witchcraft compared to the other churches, and they weren't allowing covens to operate, but there was something else going on. So and people mention certain health problems. I kind of almost think that they were sacrificing or doing things. I don't have direct evidence of who did what or if anything. It could just simply be in the spirit realm. So I'm not really sure. But it could be doing certain things in exchange for good health, as I have just heard. So now I am on January, February, March, April, May 5th. And this must be a recovery group, I'm not sure. It says apologize first, then gift without expecting anything back. So, we don't do this for Jesus, we don't do this for God, but we do this in the recovery groups and in the NA meetings and in the AA meetings. But don't do it for God. No. I think I covered this already. They do cover Acts and Romans and Pauline doctrine. They really worship Paul. And Paul is not a warrior spirit. I understand this person very well. They're kind of like mid-level. They're not stoic or a fighter or anything like that. Someone did say, trusting Christ to save me. So I'm not saying people's traumas and their personal things. It's private. And I think I talked about this burger place last time. Oh, there might have been some karma because one of these facilities, there was a doctor leaving. And people mention things. Whenever someone gets karma, it's like a rule of the universe, God's rule, that they have to tell me. Like, if someone has done something to me and they get karma, they have to tell me. Most of the time they come near me and they talk to somebody that's standing within a few feet and they tell them something so I can hear. They usually don't tell me directly. They stand near me and then they say something bad happened. So I don't want bad things to happen. Sometimes they'll recover, it just wasn't worth it. Okay, a different church. Oh, okay, here's where I left off. When I had my shower. The shower. The whole thing was sabotaged because I asked the narcissist if I could use the shower, and they let me know there was another meeting that evening. Yeah, there was another meeting that evening. That's where I found out. Let me know that I would be able to use the shower the next day. So they had plenty of time to prepare this shower for me, which I made a separate video. Maybe something I don't know if I mentioned or not, but one of the people that works there, just in case, because I did mention this to someone else, and they actually believe what I say, but they thought like, well, maybe someone did this and it was an accident. So here's something I was just asked this last week. if it was an accident and just somebody that went to the facility did that. So I'm going to say, when I went in, the first thing I did was take my bicycle down the steps, because they knew that my bike was broken 2 times when I went to the center. And I asked them to review the footage. They never got back to me. They never told me anything. So this time I came in with my bicycle. Now there is plenty of room to put my bicycle inside of this treatment center. There is plenty of room. They have a huge room, and no one ever uses it. So I think they lie about the number of people that come in. They probably do. They have admitted to me that they they write people's names in on the sign-in sheet. They write the names in themselves. And I know they do this because they admitted it. Because I just stopped in, or I went to, and I didn't sign in, and they're like, oh, we signed your name for you. They say this to let me know. They sign people in whether they're there or not. Because I've showed up, and a lot of the times when I showed up unannounced, there was only one person there. But anyways, they've got this large room, and in the front is a couch with a TV. Now, occasionally a homeless person will come and sit on the couch and watch TV, but most of these people do not go to any of the groups or do anything. They just sit on the couch, maybe drink coffee or water, and watch TV. That's all they do. And then behind the couch is a large room that has like a table and has a couple tables and a lot of free space. Plenty of room. You could put 5 bikes in there. But they wouldn't let me. I bring the bike down, and I'm immediately told, oh, we can't have the bike in here. So, like, I'm immediately told I have to bring it back outside, even though they have plenty of room, and they know my bicycle was damaged there. And also, this is when I walk down the steps, and right across, so here's the room I was talking about, the large room, where there's a desk for one of the employees to sit down. There's normally one of the employees is sitting at this seat. This is the reception desk. So if somebody comes in, and there's sign-in sheets there. And this desk is next to the couch, so that whoever is working there is able to watch television too. So whoever's working there has a good view of the flat screen TV on the wall. And they also can drink the coffee and eat the food. I'm sure they do. And that, not that that's wrong, but this, actually, you go down the steps, and then there's an entrance to this large room, and right across from this is the bathroom. So I was taking my bike down, and I was about to turn in to just the big, like, living room, reception room. And, of course, there's a homeless man in there watching TV. This is what the facility is for. Normally, one homeless person will come sit on the couch and watch television. So, I'm not sure that that is worth $500,000 a year. Or whatever they're paying, like, their staff. They all have to have degrees, I believe. Well, maybe not all of them do, but some did. Well, anyways, then a woman that works there, this is, I want to say manager, one of the high-level people that works there, because there's not very many people that work there. Maybe 5 people work there. But then she is in the bathroom. And she comes out the doorway when I come down with my bike. So the employee just came out of the bathroom and then said, oh, and she was flustered. She looked like she was tired. She looked like she had just been moving vigorously. And she said, oh, you have to put the... And I thought she was kind of stressed out or nervous because I had my bike and she told me to put it... But actually now I know. She was the one preparing the bathroom. She was in the bathroom and was leaving. So she was leaving the bathroom as I was coming in. This is the woman that works there. She wasn't inside the bathroom with the door closed. The door was open and she was leaving the bathroom. So she prepared, or if she didn't prepare it, she just saw it and she knew. I think she prepared it. And also, they had a watcher outside. There was a man stationed outside, of course, smoking. They do this to me because they know that I used to smoke and I used to vape. So they had a man, like, in the way, of course, kind of rude, smoking. I don't remember exactly. But he's also a watcher or lookout. Who knows if he's got a beeper or something? I don't know. Maybe he has a phone or something. So that when I show up, so he didn't have that much time. And this is probably why the woman was flustered. This is what I just realized. Because had I parked my bike outside, it would have taken me a minute to lock it. This is new information. It would have taken me a minute to lock it. But I'm fast. I biked really quick, and I actually just went in the door and walked my bike down the steps. This man did not have time to call on his phone. I would have seen. I think they were figuring that I would lock my bike to the fence like I usually do and be looking away. Then he could maybe pull out his phone or something and send a text. But no, I biked quickly, and then I just walked right past him with my bike and went downstairs. And so he probably texted her right away. This is what I'm just realizing. Every other time I locked my bike on the fence, they would have had a minute, because then I got to get my key and then undo the lock because I got on my handlebars. Then I got to fish it through and lock it, and I'll be looking at this. Every other time he would have had a minute. This time I biked in quick. And I immediately walked my bike down the steps, and I did it fast. They were probably not even, they probably didn't even think I'd be able to do this, but it was easy. It was easy to do, but they, I guess, this was different than what I usually do. So, probably as soon as I went in, then he pulled out his phone and texted. And then I walked down the steps, and it was only a few seconds, and then she gets a notification, and then she tries to leave the bathroom, and then I catch her in the doorway. So she absolutely knew. And yes, she had already, okay, so they didn't want to make the bathroom dirty for too long, because if somebody came in, or they have to use this bathroom, so they didn't want it to be dirty too long. They have people watching me in the neighborhood, spying on me outside my house, at certain intersections, at the top of streets. So they probably would not, they figure about how long it takes me to get there. But she did not have a final warning, and that's why I believe that she would have made her way to the seat and been sitting at the receptionist desk like she normally is. But because I quickly walked my bike down the steps, she didn't have time, and she was rushing out of the bathroom. Yes, I just realized this. Because this woman usually sits at the desk. And she was flustered, and she came out of the bathroom. She was like rushing out of the bathroom. Yes, she had emptied the paper towels. This could have been done earlier. But what was not done earlier was the poop that she smeared on the sink. She smeared poop on the sink and in the shower. So, and then also that's why the paper towels were removed. Is because they could have been used to clean the shower. And so there was no way to clean this without touching it. And it smelled bad. It was fresh. It smelled bad. And she probably had feces on her hands right then. But there is another bathroom on the other side of that same hall. There is another bathroom. So she could have just walked down. Oh, and I think there was no soap too. Like there was a bar soap that someone had used. I think there was a pube on it in the shower. But there's a hand soap on the sink. I think there was no hand soap in the sink. Like where there normally is. I have been to this center many times. On the sink where you wash your hands, there's normally a liquid soap. Well, I don't remember seeing a liquid soap, but I do remember seeing the backsplash had brown smears. I had been to this center like maybe 20 times. I have never seen this before. And of course I went into this center because I don't think the other one just has a very small shower, and I don't think there was a shower curtain on it. So the one I went into had a large shower, and it had like a place to put the soap. The other one had a small shower, and there was no curtain on the shower the last time I went. So that one I probably would not have been able to use. So, but the toilets and the sink work in both. So she probably still had dirty hands and rushed out and then went to the other bathroom where it's just a tiny shower with no curtain, and there might not even be a place to put a soap. So obviously this was not the one that I was going to use. They probably would have said that one's not ready had I tried to use it. Like, oh, this one doesn't have a curtain yet. And so I would have to use it. So yes, I do know. I will release a separate video about what they did. They also attacked me, and so this is not releasing people's private thing. They attack me. There is a coven that goes to this center, and there are people practicing the dark arts, and a lot of this is just regular things that you don't need to use magic for, because that's a lot more effort, a lot more time involved than just doing something. It's easier to just do something. So there is a woman that goes to the bathroom and doesn't wash her hands, and she did this on purpose and walked past me to make sure I saw. She went number 2 in the bathroom. I was washing my hands, and she looked at me so I could see her in the mirror, and she left without washing her hands. Then she went into the room where people's stuff is. Never since then, they've been using this woman to attack me by going to get the name tags right before me, by touching things that I was going to get, so then I can't. I mean, maybe I could get it. And then they had someone else do this too. Go number 2 in the bathroom and then touch someone's drink. Right? So this is nuts. I'll cover this in another. So this is not, they say, oh, our secrets are getting out. Yeah, that's getting out because that had nothing to do with the meeting. It was an attack on me. So they send a woman, because she seems nice, but she likes to touch feces and put it on things. And I thought this was just an attack on me, but I think maybe she does it. I don't know if she does it to other people. I guess they do to freak me out. Because then another woman who I did not think did this, did it later. She went number 2 as well, because you can tell when somebody in the stall next to you is going number 2. She came out. I was trying to wash, so this was another attack. I was trying to wash my hands, but somebody had a drink in the bathroom on the sink, so it was in the way and making it hard for me to wash my hands. They plan this stuff. I mean, these witches are nasty. So then this woman comes out. She was going number 2. She comes out. She's behind me in line to use the sink. So that means she has not washed her hands. I'm trying to wash my hands. She takes her poop hand and grabs the top of another woman's drink. It's got like a smoothie or something in it. And she moves it with her dirty hands. And they do this to get me. But here's the thing. This other woman took the drink. They did this to attack me. But another woman had... Well, she took the drink and I think she drunk it. So I don't know. But this is not disclosing secret things because this wasn't even in the group. This was in the bathroom. So if we go to the bathroom and someone does something, I'm sorry. That is not breaking confidentiality. They did this and they used the same woman at different groups. But also we went to like a church group that was outside. And it wasn't anything confidential. And so they know this, that I have seen this woman does not wash her hands. And so she immediately comes up to give me a hug. I understand what this is. So So this was not in a confidential setting. It's just an attack. Um, but maybe this is what the prophets of old had to deal with too. Um, um, okay, this meeting, I don't know if I covered this. I think I did. There was a lot of food, leftovers, sour cream, just I had a ton of food and I was trying to enjoy it. While I'm eating, people are more than 2 or 3 people. Like I'm at a round table, 2 or 3 people were talking about throwing up while I was eating. Like this is not normal. This was an attack. Um Someone came and they had the perfume on that I don't like, which ruins the food. They know this. Um, I got a coffee. It was poisoned. I knew it was poisoned. Yeah, my coffee was poisoned again at the meeting, and I caught the witch that did it, and it looked like I was going to take a little drink, and I actually did take a tiny little drink, and then I knew this is poisoned. And someone else there was, as I said, they were, yeah, I think I mentioned they were up, like kind of, when I say upset, but they knew it was poison. They didn't say anything, but I could tell in their facial expression that they were concerned or something. That doesn't mean they're on my side. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that um, they knew it was poison. I was sitting there not drinking it, and then I did take like a little tiny sip. I threw the rest away. I threw the rest in the trash, and the witch looks at me, and I think she knows she's caught. I know she's caught. I don't know that she's trying to save face. Um, May 7th. So before I mentioned how God answers prayer, and God had been providing food. Well, God provided coffee. And remember, I said that my instant coffee was almost gone. And how did God provide coffee? Well, when I went to the doctor, I think it was an email or a text, or there was a link. I was sent a link to fill out a short survey about my visit to the doctor. And then after I filled it out, they sent me, it was like it was a gift card, and it had to be to a restaurant or something. They sent me like a $20 gift card. And then when I clicked the link, it said it was already so there's like the little circle and you click which one, but actually only one was showing. So it said some text and then your Starbucks gift card for $20. And then it said or 16 other. So I think it was a total of 17 different places. So then I clicked on the other and then they appeared. And then I looked at all of them, and actually the Starbucks was the answer to my prayer. And I knew this was the right one, because there was only the Starbucks was showing, and I had to click a link for the others to appear. And the Starbucks was pre-selected and it was at the top. So that was God providing. So I got like 4 coffees with this $20. They did mess up one of them, I guess. They put sweetener in it, but oh, I got a free scratch-off ticket. Mowed my lawn. Scratch-off ticket. I am totally against the lottery, but I thought, is this how God is going to bless me? Because it was something came in the mail. Something came in the mail, and it said, free scratch ticket. Take this to any location that sells scratch tickets, and you get a free ticket. And I don't think I've ever purchased a lotto ticket. I think it's like a sin. But then I kind of thought, like, does God want me to? Like, is this how God is going to bless me? Or maybe I'm just being maybe I'm making a bigger thing out of it than it is. I don't know. But I don't think I think I shouldn't have got the free ticket. I don't know, because it seemed like, because it was free and it was just one. It's kind of like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory thing. So I'm like, you know, because sometimes I think sometimes God has me do something that I don't want to, or I don't know. Normally everything though does follow the law, but I know gambling is a sin. This lotto ticket, I know that playing the lottery, buying a ticket and playing it is not good, because the serial killer tried to do this to get me to sin, which would have given him some legal right to attack me. But then he's like, oh, you can, he asked if I could scratch him, and I started scratching it. I was like, wait a minute, I don't do that. And then I stopped and I gave it back. Because I wasn't thinking about it at first. Because it's kind of fun to scratch it. And I'm like, hey, wait. And he's like, we can share the winning. I'm like, hey, actually, I don't like to do this, because this is gambling. I gave it back. And then, of course, he's getting more concerned. He's trying to get me to sin, and I won't. And he's getting more and more nervous, as he was not able to get me to sin, which would have given him a legal right of some. Now, you can still call on Jesus, even if you mess up. What I'm saying is, he had no legal right to do anything, because he tried to tempt me to do the scratch-off ticket, and I took it and I started scratching. I'm like, wait a minute, no, I don't like to do this. And then I told him it was bad, and I gave it back. And there was dumpster meat. And I'm like, oh, I don't want that. And I told him, you're not supposed to eat pork. And there was just other things he was doing, and like smoking. And I was like, you shouldn't be, you gotta quit that. So he was trying to get me to do anything, but I didn't. And so then he was trembling and afraid, because I didn't sin. And so he couldn't do anything. He was nervous. He was afraid. Like, and I told him, no, this is not what you're supposed to do is work on all your addictions and fix your and improve yourself. And he's trembling and he's afraid. And like, I wasn't necessarily sure he was a serial killer. I wasn't necessarily sure he was a serial killer at that point. He was actually trying to act like nothing happened and bike off and keep a straight face. But God allows some of us to discern the spirit. And he pulled it off way better than most, but it wasn't perfect. And I could tell something was not right. But it was not his first rodeo. So anyways, so of course I'm going to say about this scratch ticket is that it did not win. But the ticket did end in a 17. It was not a winner. It was a loss. So I guess this is just another confirmation. Like, because God knows I would never buy a ticket. But I get a thing in the mail that says a free ticket. I'm like, Lord, do you want me to do this? And so then I just go and I give me a free the one free ticket I have here. The ticket ended in a 17. And it lost. It didn't win anything. Car curse, mow lawn. Oh, I guess I got cursed. I don't remember how. Maybe someone gave me a ride, or I got a curse somehow, and then it was used up. And when I was biking, like my foot slipped and I almost sprained my ankle, and my foot like turned sideways. But this is God saved me, because where it should have impacted and it would have hurt, like, and I felt my foot twist, but instead, like, I didn't get hurt, and then it was fine. So this was God. This was a curse too, because the way my foot slipped was totally unnatural. It's not something that would have normally happened. It just slipped in, like, I'm going in my garage to put my bike away, and then my foot just slips and just turns sideways, and I feel it go down, but then it doesn't hurt, and then it just goes back. So I know this was an angel had saved me, but this was a curse. There was a car in front of me with the license plate. So there's not a. When I say license plate, this is significant because while I'm biking and cars are driving, I don't have time. The only time I really look at the license plate is like, here's a red light and there's a car stopped and then I stop behind them. That's when I look at the license plate. And then the one car ahead of me, I believe, the numbers added up to a 17. This happens all the time, and it's a sign from God. So then I think I was going to the gym, and there's like they have got so many people tracking me, spying on me. I think, what is this? The whole military is spying on me and tracking me. I think so. There's just a woman standing there, like she's on her porch, and then as I bike by, she's got a bird call in her mouth, and she makes this loud, weird bird call as I go by. So, well, I want to say it could have been like a whistle. She makes it, and I have never heard this. And let me think, it kind of reminds me if somebody was like hunting and they do a turkey call. Well, she did a loud bird call as I went by. So this was a signal to someone else that I passed. So somehow this woman was being paid, or she's a member of a coven, and is alerting someone else that I am going down the street. This is what I mean. They spy on me. They park across the street. They got people on bikes, people walking, people in cars. They watch where I go. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar network. I don't understand. Spies, racers. Oh, God bless me. I went to Papa John's and I asked, like, I had a coupon and it was like a $6 pizza. I think somebody gave me $20 to get food or something. Yeah. So I was blessed. And so I just walked in. It was late, and I asked, and I could have gotten in my bag and pulled the coupon out, but I didn't get that yet. It would have taken me a minute to open my bag and get the coupon out. So I just asked him, "Oh, do you have like the $6 pizza? Because it was supposed to be this day. There was a pizza for $6." He's like, "Oh, you mean the $5 medium pizza?" I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, that's good." And so they had another better deal going on. And so he gave me, I was expecting to pay $6 with the coupon. And so I asked, "Oh, do you have the $6 pizza?" And he's like, "Oh, you mean, well, we have got a $5, you mean the $5 medium pizza coupon?" I'm like, "I'll take that." So I got more pizza and I paid less. So that was good. And it was delicious. And I like to get these big pizzas, and I do share the crust with my dogs. It makes them happy. I went to the gym when I looked at. So I was on the treadmill, and they've been drugging my food to make me fat. And I know this. They cast fat spells on me, and they were putting drugs in my food. They have been caught. They have been busted. But actually, it's turned into muscle, and in some ways I am more attractive. That's all I'm going to say. So I told him this, so it like backfired on him. But anyways, I've been going to the gym, lose a little bit of weight, and I'm on the treadmill, and I watch TV while I'm on the treadmill, and it says, when I looked at it, it said 107 calories, 8 minutes and 22 seconds. There was an ad on the TV that said Viata 7, and it said call 7 Viata 77. I mean, I can't make this up, or maybe it's Visata or Viata. Anyways, there was an ad that said 7 in the name, and then 77 was like the number. And it just, this, right when I looked at it, it said 107, which is a 17. I don't look at it every 5 seconds. I maybe looked at it like, yeah, this is maybe the first time I looked at it, and it was, 8 minutes in, and it was a 17. That's what I'm saying. But there were spies at the gym. I might have looked at it while there was a spy there. There was some reason that I glanced at it. When I was at the gym, they played "It's the Final Countdown" song. That was playing. That was a message to me. Um, and then they played the song "It's the End of the World and I Know It, but I Feel Fine." And it's like, yeah, you should. It's the enemy is not feeling fine. Okay, they they attack me. They study me. They sent a large bee into my bathroom, and it was in my shower. It's like a, I don't think it could be a carpenter or just a bumblebee or something, but it was in my shower. Now my shower doesn't work, but this is a very small bathroom. Um, it's probably like 4 by 5, maybe 4 by 4 foot or something. Like, I have a very small bathroom, and I like it because you can stand in the middle and you can reach everything. It's well designed, but there was a large bee in my shower, and it was freaking me out because this is a small bathroom, and to use the toilet, which is the only thing that work, like the toilet and the bathroom sink work, the rest I can't use. Um, the rest of it has problems. So the toilet and the bathroom sink work, but to go in there, there's a giant bee in my shower. And then, like, over a couple days, it's kind of like dying and it's walking real slow. And I look in the shower and I just see it in there and it's still moving. It just freaking me out for a couple days. But, it didn't do anything to me. But it was later revealed to me, I believe it was the narcissist and probably his hired gang doing all types of witchcraft to send this bee. And I don't know how it got in my bathroom. I mean, I do have an exhaust vent that does not work. And so much rain has come through it that it's probably blocked anyways. So I don't know how the bee got in there. And I keep that door closed. So I guess it came through the exhaust vent that doesn't work. And actually above that is this thing like, it's like a pipe, but it's supposed to have a tent over the top and it doesn't. So somehow a bee came into my bathroom, which I keep that door closed. And I know it was the narcissist and his gang. I know it was him, but his gang might have been involved too. So there's mouse poop and a giant dead bee in my bathroom, and it grosses me out, and I'm not gonna pick it up. There's too many problems. This won't make a bit of difference. Doorbell. Okay. I had burns on my face. Oh, this has probably having to do with the dance coming up, the gala that would have cost $40 to go to. Um, and just to make sure I didn't go, I had those burns on my face, which probably were in another video. Fence company used witchcraft. My check number 17. Okay, I saw the pastor at the church where I was baptized, and this man, he teaches, like, he preaches a lot of truth, and he has a good service, but he's an evil spirit. It's funny. But he still has information from God, and he did the communion and was trying to get power from Christ, trying to sacrifice Christ to get into heaven once again. But most of the service doesn't even, it's like he doesn't even talk about that during the service, at least when I was there. But then, right before the communion, it said. But anyways, I saw him outside, and I passed him, and he was biking, and I was biking. He was coming this way, and I was going that way. And I think he was surprised. Like that, but he had sunglasses on, so I think he was surprised like this, under the sunglasses. But anyways, then I went down like another block, and I see a young man, and he is peeing. So it's like, actually, I'm going to say young. He's like a teenager, maybe 20 or something. He's pretty tall, but he's young. He's maybe anywhere from like 16 to early 20s. Um, and his back is turned to me, and he's peeing in a bush. So like, and it was in a place like most people wouldn't see. Like if you're driving a car, you probably wouldn't notice because it was a little bit further in. But because I was biking on the sidewalk, then I could see it. So he's like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 feet back, kind of back a little bit, and there is a bridge. And so I guess if you were in a car and you looked like, but you could probably tell, but it wasn't. I don't think people would notice if they're driving, but because I was biking and I was closer, I saw there was a young man peeing in the bush. And so the pastor was coming from this direction on his bicycle. So now I believe the pastor had met with this young man and now was leaving. It doesn't look like he bikes for fun. I actually assumed he just biked for fun. But I think the pastor was meeting with this young man and paying this young man. And the pastor, as I said before, had those all black eyes, but also has truth from God. So I think he was leaving a meeting with this young man. And this is the same young man I saw on my block outside. When I left my house, I saw this young man. He was on my block. And so he was just walking. He didn't even look like a spy, but I had never seen him here before. He was really close to my house outside. I think I just went out my front door, maybe to walk in the yard or something, or to throw something away. I don't remember. And then I see a young man across the street walking. This wasn't even significant enough to write down. But now this same man was where the pastor was coming from. And this is like, I want to say 2.5 miles away. So this young man did not have a bicycle. He was walking. And he was not driving. He was walking. So he was right by my house, just walking. It wasn't obvious. It didn't look like he was spying. But now I know he was spying on me. Because then I crossed paths with the pastor. And then I kept going. And it was like half a block later, then I see that young man peeing in a bush. That means this young man is still walking. He had him walk like 2.5 miles to my house and hang around there. He doesn't have a vehicle. He's peeing in a bush. He's probably homeless. And this is who, or maybe he's just in the coven. And they have their missions. So he was spying on me for the pastor. But I didn't even think about it at that time. When I crossed paths with the pastor, I just thought it was a sign from God. It's time to go back to this church. The pastor did not expect me to be there. And I think he might have suspected he was caught. And right then he wasn't. But now I'm thinking about it. And I realized this later. I realized it a few hours later, I think. That, oh yeah, he was meeting with this young man that was right outside my house. Anyways, okay, I was recommended, so when I went to my booth and I got paid. I was asking the employee about a good food restaurant. She recommended our local burger joint. I went there and my receipt was $10.98. So 9 plus 8 is a 17. I've got a lot of receipts. I should make a separate video. I went to this place like 2 or 3 times, once just to get a coffee because it's cheap, and all of the receipts were significant. And the second time, like, they were taking a long time, and when I got my receipt, it's just so wild. It said like check number 777, like, or something. Like, so it was delayed on purpose to give me a sign from God. That my total was like $10.98. I went to a recovery meeting. I saw some people at the coven. That was at the church. Oh, okay, so I just ate the QP, and then instead of going, I just said it was okay. Don't. Anyways, instead of going back home, so like I had the food and then I crossed paths with the pastor. Or maybe this is right before I got it. I'm like, I'll go to the meeting after I get my food. Because I already made plans to get the food. And I didn't think I was supposed to go and just try to get free food everywhere. I thought this is a new season. So then when I did show up, then I went back like an hour later and I ate my food outside of the church. I was eating it there and people were watching. Then I go in and they've got more food. This time the food was better. Last time I was there the food was kind of gross. I'm just going to say. I'm not trying to be mean. Like they made all types of juicy things on purpose so they could all be poisoned. So this time I did not go or I did not go hungry. I ate first. But actually, it looked like they had good food. But what was nice is they sent me with a lot of leftovers, and I shared them with my dogs, and it was really nice. They sent a lot of food, so I don't know if they did something to it, but I don't know. It seemed like it was good, though. Excuse me. Okay, this is the next day, 5/13/2026, May 13th. This is the day I went to another food pantry run by a church. Medicine Man was there. And, like, I pulled in, like, he was walking towards the line, like, so I was still in front of him, but I saw him, like, we were going to the line at the same time. And so he didn't try to ditch me. He just let me go in front and didn't say anything. Medicine Man was surprised. This was a sign for me. And it was a sign. It was confirmation for Medicine Man. So Medicine Man, last time I saw him, something bad had happened. Now he was at this church to get the free food. You can get free food there once a month. So he didn't try to ditch, he didn't do anything. He just showed up and he like let me get in front. I kind of was in front, but it was close, is what I'm saying. I was in front of him, but it was close. He could have got in front of me and it would have been fine too. But he didn't even try. He didn't even try to get ahead of me. So the line was a little slow. The line was a little slow. And then I'm right in front of him, so he could hear what was said. You just have to give him your ID. He's right behind me listening. And so I give him my ID. And I give them my ID. And the woman there, I don't know why. I've never been here before. I should not be in their database. So, I don't know if maybe they're looking at the address on my ID card. I don't know. But, I give her my card. I've never been there. And she says, family of 3? Family of 3? And I guess I'm going to have a family of 3. But she said, family of 3? And I said, no. Family, just me. Just one. Just me. So I was right. This was from God. I was right in front of Medicine Man. And I could have said yeah and gotten more food. I could have said yes and gotten 3 times as much food. I couldn't have fit it on my bike. I'm not a liar. No, I said just me. Just one. I said just me. And Medicine Man is right behind me. His confirmation. They have sent armies after me. They have sent the covens, narcissists, the black gangs, the witches, now the bikers, which I think that's fizzling out. I don't know. Some of them still want to kill me, but I think they're coming around pretty quickly, honestly. Like with the other gang members, that went on for a while. But and then Medicine Man is the one that got the serial killer. And so something really bad probably happened to him. I don't know. But he was there just by himself. He's always alone. I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's got a family. I really don't know. But when he went to the soup kitchen, like, he would just go with, like, friends, and it wasn't his actual family, so I don't know what his situation is. But I will say, I saw him, I used to only see him at this Sunday free meal, and I don't remember seeing him at the soup kitchen every day. So there was a soup kitchen that served food every day. I don't remember seeing him there. And then I would just see him at this one church that would give a free Sunday morning breakfast. And he didn't come right away. This is after I was going there a few weeks. So maybe they brought him in. Maybe other groups, other covens brought the medicine man in because they couldn't get. This is what I'm thinking. I'm putting this together now because when I wrote this, like, I didn't have as much information. I've learned things since this. So medicine man did not go to the regular soup kitchen. Maybe, but I didn't see him. And I was going to this church for breakfast on Sunday for a while, for weeks. Maybe like after a month he came. And then he started coming. So I think they brought him in. But then after he got his karma, he was at the regular soup kitchen. So this is what I will say. He was not going to soup kitchens from the look of it. He didn't need to go to soup kitchens. But after he tried to kill me, he was going to the soup kitchen and he was at the food pantry. So he should not. He should not have tried. It was not worth it. As I said, I was going to the soup kitchen for 6 months. I did not see him there. I'm not saying he was never there, but I recognize people and I don't remember seeing him there. And then when I stopped by the soup kitchen again, like later, I didn't go for a while and I stopped by again, then I saw him there or something. Like after the serial killer failed, then I saw him there, and then I stopped going for a while, and then I saw him at a food pantry. So something, maybe a death, maybe all his money's gone, I don't know. He went from not needing to go to now he has to go. Anyways, but now he knows. It's just me. There is no army. There's no military supporting me. I mean, I know that police have captured a lot of criminals and protect me, but I'm not. They don't know where I'm going. I'm not contacting them. They just happen to be there at the right time, and this is God. So. Anyways, the food I got from this food pantry ran by a church. I didn't realize. There was a couple of good things. There was something like kind of like ramen noodles that was good. I will say I got a couple of good things. I think I got I might have got a milk and a couple of ramen noodles, and that was good. And there was also a package of crackers, not the whole thing, but like a tube of crackers. And there was some good stuff there. So there was and then there was like a stick of butter that was taken out of the package. So I'd say and then there was a big bag of apples, and these are the apples that stay good forever, but then they even started to go bad after a week. These normally last like a month. So I'm thinking is that I left with like 30 pounds of food, and probably only $5 of the food. Okay, maybe 50 cents on the crackers. I don't know how much a stick of butter is. It wasn't any expensive brand. $1 plus maybe I got 2 things of these ramen noodle things. Maybe those are 3 each. So maybe I got $8 worth of good food. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But they had a big giant bag of onions they were going to give me, and I noticed there's mold all over like a lot of mold, and they're sprouted, but I don't mind the sprouted, but they were just all moldy and sunken in. It's like, and then my food was sitting there. I'm like, oh, I don't need those onions. It's just me. I'm not going to make them. And then I put the rest of my food in my bag. When I get home, and I take one potato out, and I let the dogs play. I got a huge bag of potatoes. I give it to the dogs. They play with it. Um, and then the next day, I look at it. I was gonna cook these potatoes. This is like a day later. And then I reach in, and my hand is covered in mold. And then I realized all of these potatoes are old and rotten and moldy. And just the one I got on top was fine. All rest of them are ruined. And like, I guess I gave a couple, I rinsed some off, and I gave a couple to my dogs that weren't as bad. That looked like they were pretty, like, there were some that looked like, this is like a 10-pound bag of potatoes or something. Maybe 5-pound bag, maybe a 5-pound. It was big though. I want to say 10 pounds. The potato on top was decent. I gave that to my dogs. There's a couple more. I gave it to. They were just playing with them. They weren't. But like the next day, the dogs actually ate them. And these weren't the ones that were all covered in mold. Actually, it was like I had found a couple that were pretty good. And so I just threw the rest in the trash. But then the ones that my dogs did chew on, it made them throw up, and then I noticed there's piles of vomit in the yard. And so they like to play with stuff, so I let them play with it, but it wasn't good. And they have eaten potatoes before, and they like potatoes, so I don't want anybody complaining about that. I give them a lot of dog food, but I give them human food too. So they've got plenty of dog food. They've got a dog feeder, but I also give them human food. This is not the first time that they have had potatoes. But this caused them to throw up. And I'm like, oh, and I felt bad. But anyways, they gave me some bread and stuff that was expired like 2 months ago. I can't even remember. Oh. So the man that worked there, he looked a little evil, but he was helping me hold my bike up, and I said, "Oh, thank you." I thought he was doing something nice, and I said, "God will bless you." But then when it was time for meat, I told him, "Oh, no pork. I don't eat pork." And then this man comes out and he hands me. So I was supposed to get 2 things of frozen meat. Yeah, that's what I'm remembering. Okay, now I'm remembering this. So the employee comes out and he's like, and he said, I think he said these are both beef. He hands me 2 packages of meat and says these are beef. And when I get home, I look and it says pork on it. So I know what to do now. When I get pork, it can possess my dogs with spirits. I can't even give it to my dogs, and I sure as heck can't give it to someone else. So I take the pork in my hand and I throw it in a trash can. That is what I do. And I guess I have saved someone else from eating this. But he knew I didn't eat pork, and I requested no pork, so he went and he found one was beef and one was pork. So, but I think that was expired too. So they maybe had frozen this stuff for a while. But I think pretty much everything was expired. I'm just going to say. But the fresh stuff, except for the bag of apples, wasn't. But they went bad really fast. These should have stayed good like a month, but they only lasted like less than a week, or maybe a week. So they were probably past the sell-by date by quite a bit. All of the onions were ruined. The potatoes were ruined. The bread was old. They gave out trash. This is a church pantry. And if this is run on donations, they need to ask for their money back. Because this was not donations. This was expired food. It was like when you get the food in the dumpster, it's just went past the sell-by date. This was stuff like 2 months ago it expired. Or a year ago. I found some stuff that said, oh, it expired last year. No, but most of the stuff like, oh, it expired 2-3 months ago. If this is run on donations, I can say they are not paying for this. Because you cannot legally buy food that expired 3 months ago. And if you went and got stuff out of the dumpster, it would still be fresh. So I don't know where they are getting this from. But maybe the donations are just paying their staff. I don't know. But they do have a really good thrift store here at this location. And it could also be that I'm targeted. Maybe other people got better food than me. As I said, when I told them no pork, they went and made sure to give me a pork. And so maybe they gave me the moldiest potatoes and the moldiest onions. They might have done that. But everybody was getting food from the same truck. It was from the same lot. So even if I got the worst one, everyone else was still getting expired food. Let's see. Bike back. Something is on the sidewalk, a truck's in the way. Okay, so I remember, as I'm heading back, and my bike, it's quite heavy, so, I normally bike on the road like you're supposed to, but then there was a big truck, and it was angled, and it was blocking the road or something, so then I get on the sidewalk, and then so the truck is blocking the road where I'd normally go, and that causes me to go a certain direction. And so then I turn, I'm actually, and then there's a red light, or then there's a bunch of school buses. So this was God. This never happens. I bike almost every day. I'm biking like 20 miles now. It's kind of fun. Like I'm doing like some ramps and stuff, and a little bit of mountain biking. So I've gotten a bit better, but I'm not claiming to be a professional. Don't misunderstand that. But maybe like how a kid would bike, if you know. Anyways, so for a semi to be like angled and turning and going real slow and blocking the road, this does not really happen. Maybe once a year I run into something like this. This day, and then I just go to get on the sidewalk and I keep going, and then there's a bunch of school buses and it's blocked. Here's a school bus. The number on this school bus is my birth year reversed. There is a school bus here. There is a 2-digit number. It is my birth year reversed. And then there's a big line of children, and there's another school bus at the end. So there's one school bus here, and I go past it, and it's got my birth year on it reversed. And then there's a big line of kids walking, and back here is another school bus, and I can't see the number on that, it's too far away. And then there's a big line of kids going like a block. And so they got multiple school buses, and they are at the Veterans Civic Center. And then I didn't realize this. God put me here. So then they're going into this building, and they just got there. So I don't think they've went in yet. They're about to go in. So this is perfectly timed. There's police officers at the door. They have the door opening, and they're greeting the children. So I hope they're not mad at me. I think they were. They weren't like mad, but I think they weren't happy that I showed up. I'm just gonna say, but they weren't too jealous. Like most of the time, people are really angry. There just might have been a little bit of like, just a little bit, because like the children were there, and the police were opening the door, and the police were greeting them, and then all of a sudden I show up. God put me there. And then, like, they actually hardly did anything, but I think there was a little bit of just a little bit. Anyways, this huge line of the children come, and they're going into the Veterans Center, and it's like, I don't know what kind of event this is. What day is this? 7th? May 7th? I don't even know. No, this is 13th. This is the 13th. What is May 13th? I don't even know what this is. But then I show up on my bike, and then there's just a bunch of kids, so I gotta stop for a minute. So I stop, and the kids are coming. Like a bunch of them, like 100 of them. And so then I'm waving at them, and so I get to wave at, and they're waving at me. So God put me there to wave at them, and for them to wave at me, and we wave at each other. And then they see the police officers. They see them too. I'm saying, but God put me there to greet those children. This is the absolute truth. And I would have swerved around that semi and been faster, except I had a bunch of food from this food pantry on my bike. It was like 30 pounds of rotten food. But anyways, then I stopped and I'm like, oh, I know right away when I see some type of procession or a bunch of school buses and I'm there, God put me there. And so then I'm thinking, what would Jesus do? And so then I'm kind of like, I was always like kind of, I want to say, weird with kids, like my mother, if there was a baby, is like, wouldn't let me hold it. Oh, it's fragile. Wouldn't. So I don't know about kids, but I'm thinking, how should Christ behave around children? So like I'm trying to follow whatever example is set before us the right thing to do. So then I try to look at him nice and I wave at him. This is what Jesus would do. and then and then they all go in. This is perfectly timed. As they come out of the bus and go into the building, then here I am, and I'm waving at them and smiling, and they're waving at me and they're smiling, and then I keep going. Um, um, the food pantry said I was a family of 3. Well, I can't even get a friend. They're all enemies, so I don't know. This is not. But anyways, they must have some secret information that I don't. I see a dead bird again. Another dead bird. Cry, curse me again. A car. People drive past me on the road. They yell stuff out their window at me and curse me. I can't hear what they say most of the time. So I got another car curse. Oh, that's what. And I put car curse earlier, and I said car curse. Now I remember what that is. People drive past me on the road, and they yell curses at me out their window. But they get their karma. I get a curse. So, I had the car curse earlier. So somebody drove past me in a vehicle, yelled a curse at me out their window, and then as I'm going into my garage, my ankle slips. And it wasn't slippery. I'd go in my garage. I was going slow. I think I was like getting off my bike to put it in the garage. This has never happened. So I knew this was right after a man in the vehicle. Now I just got another car curse. 514. There's probably more. This is just what I've written down in my notes. So now it's May 14th. Assassin, knife assassin, Bible verse, car accident. Maybe it's someone else. I don't know. It says Bible verse in here, car accident. Oh, there was a car accident blocking the way I go, I think. I went to the gym. There's spies. Okay. So, yeah, I went to the gym. I can't remember all this. But there was a car accident, so I had to go turn early. Like, God does this too. If maybe there's an enemy on the other side that would have tried to get me. And so I go a different way. Like, I was diverted to the children, and then I'm diverted away from more assassins. So car assassins. There is a blonde man. As I'm going in, there's a blonde man there. I know he's a spy. I think he went in at the same time as me, or he was looking at me a little bit. I noticed this man is a spy. There were some black men in there, I believe, were spies. I went to use the treadmill. So it's funny, is they're sent on a mission, but then they also want my help. So I would say. So I walk in. At first I see the blonde man, and I recognize this man looks like a spy. So I've had spies. They did not look like spies. They did not look like a spy. These ones looked like a spy. Anyways, yeah, so I'm at the gym today. So there's 2 groups. These are different groups from different covens, or the military was spying on me too. If they got MK Ultraman, they got the Army Reserves were spying on me. They got the narcissist group was spying on me. The Black Witches were spying on me. The gangs were spying. Now the bikers are spying on me. This is kind of neat. So there was two different people from two different groups that I know of. There's possibly more. They're just more covert. I don't know. So I'm using the treadmill. I use the treadmill for a minute. Then the black men come over, and I know they were sent. They were sent to get me. They were sent to get me. They didn't want to, but they were sent to get me. And I want to say, so this is what happened. They used there's a bunch of treadmills at Planet Fitness. They got like 50 treadmills or something. I don't know, but they have a lot. Anyways, I'm on one treadmill and I'm watching the TV, and then 2 treadmills down, then one of the black spies. I would say a spy, but he might not have been a spy. He could have just been a gang member or a member of a coven, like a warlock. I don't think he's a warlock because he didn't use magic. So he goes 2 machines down from me. And then he's got a bunch of cologne on. This is one of their attacks. I don't like it. I'm not going to die, okay? But I don't like perfume. It's usually synthetic. Maybe if somebody had a natural perfume, it would be okay. But it's not just that. Like, I don't even like regular perfume, but actually, they have got special perfumes they use that make me sneeze and make me sick or give me a headache. Well, this man didn't use the kind that gives me a headache. I got a bad headache after the blonde witch gave me a gift of a perfume, and I got maybe the worst headache, one of the worst headaches of my life after I took this. And if it wasn't that bad, then I wouldn't have told someone else. So God taught me with that experience. But so this man is 2 treadmills down, and he's got some strong cologne on. But it's not that strong, but I think they put something in it that makes me sneeze too. They do this all the time. I'm blowing my nose every day. Every time is an attack. So he's got a bunch of cologne on, a bunch of perfume, and then I sneeze, and then this man says, "Okay, he did something." Then he says something like, "Okay, I did what I was supposed to do." Okay, so here's what happened. So the one man was sent to get me, and then a few minutes later, his friend comes in between. So I'm on this treadmill, empty space. Then the black spy, the enemy comes, but he didn't really want to hurt me, I don't think. That's what I'm saying. He didn't want to do anything too bad, I'm just going to say. And then his friend comes at the machine between us. So his friend actually wanted me to hear what he was saying, but he had to do an attack. He had to, but he didn't want to do anything bad. So he had to do it. He was on this team, but he didn't want to do anything that bad. I'm just going to say. So I understand how this works. They're like slaves when they belong to a coven or whatever group they're in. So once his friend is there, then then I smell this cologne. It's really strong, and I sneeze, and then he says something. I can barely make it out, but I hear him say, he said, it was paid, or did what they need, or he said, okay, it's been paid, or I did what I needed to do. Or he said, like, I did what I needed to do. He said something like that. He said, okay, I did what I needed right after I sneezed. Okay. Then the man in between, or maybe the man came then. Okay. So he said, okay, it's been paid, or I did what I needed to do. So he made me sneeze. So he had to get me. So he put on this cologne that makes me sneeze. And I sneezed once. And then he's like, okay, I did what I needed to do. Then his friend comes in between us and starts talking right next to me so I can hear. And now I'm going to put it on the internet because he actually wanted me to hear his story and help in some way. So, he got a DUI for marijuana. And he was pulled over. So apparently now that marijuana is legal, the rules on DUI are kind of, they're not, they don't quite make sense yet. So he got pulled over. He was not smoking right then, but the officer said he smelled like smoke. And he said he smoked earlier in the day, but he was not impaired. Maybe he said like his tail light was out. So he wasn't pulled over for driving erratically. And he was not smoking marijuana right then. But he smelled like marijuana because he smoked marijuana earlier. And the officer was acting like he'd be impaired, and he says it's not, like something like he was fine because he smokes every day, and he wasn't pulled over for driving unsafe. He was pulled over for like a taillight, or it was a random check. So then they did tests. They did some sobriety tests where they did the alphabet, like start at this letter and then maybe do some, when they say do it backwards, I would have trouble with that. And then they told him to count, but then say Mississippi after, and then they told him to count to like 57, count to 57 saying Mississippi after each one, but then he counted to 54 because he forgot. And then like it's like he didn't pass or something. But anyways, then the officer made fun of him. So we do have some problems here. Is if somebody is stoned, they should not be driving. That's true. But it's also true that even if you smoked pot yesterday, you can smell like pot today. So I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like where you buy marijuana, they should have some warnings then and tell people. If you smell like marijuana and you get pulled over, then you might be subject to a sobriety test. Like maybe, so I don't know. And if they pass the sobriety test, then they're fine. So I'm not sure what the answer is. But I'm saying this because apparently like they've just made marijuana legal, but and they're going to pull back some of the legality. They're going to make it more restrictive again, I guess. So the laws haven't really caught up yet. So I don't know what the answer is. This is just if somebody else hears this and has an idea or a solution. But he talked about this a lot, and he wanted me to hear. So then they used the machine for a while, and he was speaking a lot, telling his whole story right next to me. It was clearly so I could hear. So they know what I don't know. I didn't know, but yeah. I didn't know if I would have influence or anything because I've never had influence. People never listen to what I say. But now they know that people will listen to what I say because they're telling me, like, assuming that I have influence. Well, I don't have it yet. But since I've never had it, that means I'm owed the influence. I'm going to say the karmic debt. So anyways, after a while, then they leave. Then the blonde spy. So remember, the first one I saw was the blonde spy. So then they leave. And then a couple minutes later or some while later, then the blonde spy comes and he goes a few machines down for me. So he's close, but he's not right next to me. And then I noticed this is the same man that looked like a spy when I came in. And so when he got on the machine, then I looked at the dial on my... There's a screen on the treadmill with numbers. It's got like heart rate, pace, all types of things. The machine... So remember, on the school bus was my birthday reversed, okay? Well, this machine had my birthday, like the year of my birth, on the dial in 3 places. This is the honest to God's truth. So the blonde man steps on the treadmill, then I look at the screen. It's got my birth year in 3 places. It was on the seconds, it was on point something pace, and it was point something mile, right? And so I looked at it right as the spy stepped on the treadmill. And that was my confirmation he was a spy. But I'm not staring at this dial the whole time because they have TVs up on the wall. So I go on the treadmill and I watch the TV. I'm not looking at the little digital display. So then when the spy got on, I looked. My birthday to be showing up in 3 places at the same time. This is probably the only time that would happen if I use this for 65 minutes because there's an hour and then you got 5-minute cooldown. This would probably only happen once. I don't know. Maybe twice. I'm not really sure. Okay, so now May 15th, there is another recovery group. This is at a Better Center. And I get a free mental health shirt, which I haven't worn yet, but I need to wear soon. Let's see. I'm not going to say what happened in the recovery group. It seems like the person running it, I would say, the person running it seems to favor me. That's all I'm going to say. And asked what size shirt that I wore so that they could get one for me the week before. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but they were giving out mental health shirts to people. And then I was going to get one too. So the person running the group asked what size, if you don't mind, like what size, and we'll get you a shirt. And so then, let's see. That is not breaking confidentiality and talking about past trauma. I am saying is that this has to do with me and my testimony. Is now the people, everyone in this group knew what size shirt that I wear. And I didn't. I like to wear my stuff bigger now. Because I don't like clothing to be tight. This is pajamas, but it was free at the soup kitchen and it's hot. So, anyways, I wouldn't wear this when I go someplace. This is pajamas. I'm at my house. But, everyone in this group has got a big table. They all know now what size shirt that I wear. Okay, there's the gazebo downtown, has memorial. I find out I mentioned some things about my life, just not even everything, and like that makes someone else feel. They said they felt good because they just had this one thing going on, and like I mentioned all this horrible and I had so much more going. I think that like it was blowing people out of the water, but it said, but you have good health, right? I said, oh yeah. Well, I do have a toenail that doesn't grow in, and I do probably should have foot surgery, and they have poisoned me about 1,000,000 times, and they've given me medication to make me fat and caused other problems and done beauty spells, and but my health is better than my health actually is still. Then I still say I'm healthy because compared to everyone else I am, but that's because I don't eat pork, you guys. And they put pork in, they hide pork in my food, but it's not every meal like the pagans. So, like how healthy you are is probably related to how much pork you eat. And so they spike my food with pork. They hide pork in my food sometimes, but not most of the time. So now I'm at May 16th. This is the day of the Native American event, and this deserves its own video. Thanks for watching.